Hey there guys, it's Josh Varr here. I'm doing this little video in the background and the backyard of my house today, just to share with you some tips on minimizing the distractions from smartphone use. I did a poll on LinkedIn recently, which if you've got my invite to do this course, some of you will have voted on. And the number one thing that people said they wanted assistance with or ways that I could improve the course was adding a little bit more on distractions. So in the lesson above, you saw the PDF with the distractions acronym and the 12 steps there. But in this quick video, I want to talk specifically about phones. And I think it has a little bit more emotional resonance to hear it and to see it, although the irony that I'm filming it on a phone. So with 46% of people saying they wanted tips on that, I'm going to talk about that really quickly for a couple of minutes. Now, the most important thing is, like, I'm filming this course on a phone. Phones can be amazing. If you call grandma, if you donate to a charity, if you RSVP to an event, if you tell someone you're running late for dinner, like, that's amazing. We don't want to not use phones, but we don't want to be distracted for them. So I'm going to give you 5 simple steps to minimize the distractions that come with iPhone usage or phone usage in general. So step 1, these go from easy to hard. Step 1, firstly, is turn off the notifications. So notifications are designed in principle to notify you, to stimulate you, to get your attention. That's why they're loud and they pop up and they appear above anything else. You could be sitting a final exam or in a job interview. Your phone doesn't care. It'll put a notification up to distract you. It's not your priority, it's the social media company's priority, right? And think about it. Apple, if you use an iPhone, for example, is a $500 billion company. Facebook or Meta is a $500 billion company. So you've got $500 billion worth of hardware and $500 billion worth of software on top of each other in your pocket, and you're betting on your own self-control. It doesn't work. It's ridiculous. If you were to see someone walk down the street and say, do I bet on the 2 of the biggest companies in the world and on them hiring all the smartest people to get that guy's attention, or do I bet on his self-control? They win every time. So the first thing you can do, turn off notifications. Easy. Go into settings, go into notifications, and app by app, go through, turn them all off. Your phone should never alert you except for maybe phones and text messages. That's it. Second thing, after notifications, are the badge icons. Now, these are little tricksters of the phone world. The badge icons pop up. You know that little icon that says you have 5 text messages or 15 emails? The other day we were in a high school and we were doing a time management workshop, and I was speaking to a student and I asked, I don't know why I did, I just said, can I see an example of someone's home screen? I was trying to make a point. And this girl put up a hand, she shared a phone with me. She had more than 3,000 little notification badge icon things on her phone. This included more than 2,000 unread emails and over 100 text messages. Now, I don't know how old y'all are, but when I was a kid, or right now, if I look at my phone, I can't go to bed if I've got an unread text message. For me, like where phones came from, where it was just text before the internet, it was like you read your text message. It is a 1-to-1 open rate. And this girl had over 100 unread text messages. If you've got a boyfriend, girlfriend, grandma, partner, job interview, parent, caregiver, how do you know if that message is important if there's hundreds of them lost in there? So the thing I'd encourage you to do is turn off those little badges. The reason being, when you then look at your home screen, it's not calling out for your attention. It's just blank. So turn those off. What that'll let you do is spend less time on Snapchat and Instagram and all those notifications and badges that really don't matter. You know, it doesn't matter if Kim Kardashian has posted a photo today. You don't need a badge for that. But if your parent texts you saying, hey, honey, I think you left the front door open and someone's breaking into our house right now, do you want to check on that? That kind of matters. And so we want to get the notifications that do matter. So for me, what works is phone and text. If there's something else that works for you, that's great. But I'd encourage those, they're almost like the dumb phone, the old school phone. Get it back to that and eliminate the rest. First, turn off notifications. Second, turn off badges. The third thing you want to do is take those apps, if you must have them, off the home screen and put them in a folder. Now, as you've seen some of the techniques in here in the course, one of the things I recommend is figuring out how much time you spend on the apps, calculate that out over a lifetime, figure out how many days of your life that is. I was in a workshop last night and a wonderful young woman was sharing the example of how much time she spends on social media, and she's currently at, I want to get this right. She's currently at 7 hours of TV and social media, and she wanted to get it to 2, say 5 hours a day. 5 hours a day, 7 days a week is 35 hours of time. And we worked out over the rest of her life, if she lives to a life expectancy, That's 22 years of her life she'd get back if she made that change, right? So in the wrap process, when you get to the, as you've gone through the A and you start making those changes, 22 years of life this wonderful young woman realized by just making that one change. So the thing I'd recommend that you do is grab all your apps, drag them into a folder, and label that folder something unsexy. The least sexy, the better. So for her, for example, it would be 22 years of life. So every time you click on that folder, you're not just checking your Snapchats or checking your Instagram, you're actively doing something that you say, if I don't get this under control, this is 2 decades of my life that's going away. So label it something like that. If nothing else, put them in a folder, drag them off your home screen. You won't see them, they won't notify you, won't see the badges, and you'll be amazed how they slip away from your consciousness. Step number 4, and this is the heavy hitter now. I'll give you the heavy hitters to end. Step number 4, put screen time limits on. So go into your phone, go into your settings, and app by app, go through and put the screen time limits on. Add them up. Say if you're comfortable being on social media 1 hour a day or 2 hours a day, maximum, then put the limits on. Is that half an hour of Instagram, half an hour of Messenger, an hour of Snapchat, whatever it is for you, but put those limits on. You're not limiting yourself, you're prioritizing the very precious time you have and saying, I want to put it into reading or exercise or study or getting a job or my relationship or my mental health, my self-care. But you can't get that time back unless you limit it from somewhere else. So I'd encourage you, even for a month, take the challenge of putting screen time limits on them and don't change them if you hit the max. No one can make you do this, but if you get to that point where you stick the limits and you stick to them, you'll be amazed how much free time you'll get back. Step number 5, the sledgehammer of time management, is the delete button. These applications make it very easy to download. I've had students before, they delete their social media apps Monday to Friday or whenever their busy days are, they re-download them on the weekend. As long as you've got your passwords written down somewhere, they make it very easy to re-download the apps. But during the week, if you don't have it, you can't access it. So for example, I stopped using Instagram years and years ago. I can still get in through a back way on Safari on my phone, and I use the internet portal, and it's ugly and it's clunky and there's a bunch of features that don't work. But if I really want to get in, I can. And sometimes that's great to see what friends are doing. But I don't have the app, I don't post, I don't engage. It's just there for those split moments, once a week, twice a week, where I want to check in, and it's amazing how much time you get back. So those are my 5 big tips. Sorry to insert this quick little video here. I always say 2 minutes and it goes for 8 minutes. Tip number 1 is firstly turning off your notifications. That way it won't jump out at you. Tip number 2, those little badge icons, turn those off. Tip number 3, drag them into a folder, move the folder off the home screen. Tip number 4, set screen time limits. And tip number 5, actually delete the apps. Crazy, I know. Those are my 5 tips. So if you want to master your smartphone so it doesn't master you, so you can take advantage of your time, try those 5 tips and let me know how you go. Alrighty guys, good luck with the rest of the course.